Indie Spotlights. So I found this film called Goodbye Girl. It's on Amazon Prime. It's one of the sort of scary child horror films, like The Omen, but it's not like one I've seen before. It has some of those tropes, and it's kind of that, but it doesn't really, like, that's sort of the easiest way to categorize it because it technically has that in it, but it's not really such a, the horror element of it is so sort of under the surface, because everything else is a sort of Shane Meadows type kitchen sink thing.
I didn't even want a kid. You wanted a kid. I didn't want one.
And it has this other thing coming in there, sort of creeping in. It reminded me of the original Halloween in that sort of way. And then what was missed when Halloween was redone was that they were just like, the Rob Zombie one, they were like, oh, let's give him backstory, and then he can be a redneck and he can go around murdering people, and that's why he goes around murdering people, and it's really interesting if you explain it. No, it's not. It's the mystery of it. Not knowing anything about Michael Myers, and not knowing why everything, how he can smash a window with his hand, and how he can appear in front of people, and how he has no face. He's just this supernatural thing that's somehow creeping into the real world, and the real world in the film is very normal looking people on a very normal looking street, and that's what's terrifying about it, because that could be your street. And this film has that similar thing to it, because it has this girl who she says a sort of rhyme and says goodbye, and then someone dies, and she doesn't really talk. That's why the mother's such an asshole to her, because she's like, why don't you talk? Why are you so shy? Why are you doing this, you little shit? But the girl doesn't really do anything. She's like Michael Myers, like that scene at the beginning of Halloween where it comes out onto the steps with the knife and just has no expression on her face. That's what she's like all the way through, and it's so eerie. But also there's all this other stuff going on the whole time. So you sort of forget about it, but in the back of your mind, now and again it comes out and you're like, what is that? Because sometimes you forget because you really get into it, because like the dialogue is so Yorkshire. You sort of forget about the horror aspect. You just like this, like the mother in it. The mother in it's really horrible to the little girl, but you can't stop watching. You're like, this woman's an arsehole, but I love watching her because the things she's saying, you don't hear some of the things she says on TV or in cinemas usually, because like I've said before, it's sort of a genre. The kitchen sink thing has become sort of a genre, in that there's just a way of writing dialogue that it doesn't actually relate to the way that people talk in real life, but this film does. They say the little things she says, like, hey, you big fanny, stuff like that that you don't normally see. I thought it was really good. It captured that really well in this film, and it sort of distracts you from the horror, and then the horror comes back and you're like, wait, what is going on there? Why is that happening? So I thought that balance was really good. They pulled off the kitchen sink thing really well, because it's just sort of a window into someone else's life, which, I mean, again, that's what social realism should be. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's Goodbye Girl, it's called. It's on Amazon Prime. I'll put a link below to it, so check it out.
Now then, if you liked video, then click subscribe. If you didn't like it, well then bug off.
No, don't really subscribe anyway.